Hi, I'm Johnny B, and welcome back to McKinney ISD Sports Talk as we wind down the regular season and look forward to the playoffs. And, of course, one of the teams headed to the playoffs is the McKinney Boyd Broncos, joined now by head coach Don Drake. And, Coach, when you talk about the playoffs, actually for the Broncos, you've been in playoff mode for about 4 weeks because these are games you had to win, had to get in, and your kids have responded.
You know, they have. It's a very competitive district, as we've talked about all year long. And so going back to the week prior to the open week where we had Plano East and felt like we needed to get a win there, coming back off the open week, knowing we would have a 4-game stretch and really have to make a strong push in order to qualify for the playoffs. And the kids have done that. Been very proud of their performance over the last 5 weeks.
You clinched against Louisville, but you wanted to keep the momentum going, and you took on Hebron. And this is kind of a tough game because when you play teams that have had a down year, but they're good football teams, and they really don't have anything to lose. I mean, that's a game that's even tougher than somebody who may be playing it close to the vest going to the playoffs.
Well, and they had come off a win the week before against Plano East, you know, and then they were going into the 10th game of the season. It was senior night at their place, so, you know, obviously those seniors wanted to go out on a high note. So we felt like it was very important for us to get started off with a bang and really try to take it to them early if we could, and we were able to do that, you know, from the opening kickoff.
You stepped on the throttle, and like you said, you got the opening kickoff. Then it was like, don't let them back in the game. You always hear coaches say, don't let this team hang around, and it sounds like the Broncos were all business. Let's just put it away and put it away early.
Yeah, and I was proud to see that. You know, the week before against Louisville, we jumped on them early, came out to a 14-0 lead, and then, you know, I think we lost focus, particularly offensively, and didn't finish as well as I'd hoped, you know, the week before against Louisville High. Obviously, we got the win. We were happy for that, but I felt like we didn't play as well as we needed to offensively. And this week, I was really proud of just our complete team performance and how our kids kept focused, kept energized, and just kept playing at the level that we needed to.
Defense has been playing great, and, you know, I want to give some props to the offense and the offensive line. I know that Dedrick does. After every touchdown, he goes and congratulates those guys, but you've had some injuries alongside that offensive line. They're the kind of offensive line that has to keep banging and banging because you want to pound that ball and you want to get that pop, and they played very well this year.
Yeah, they have. I've been really proud of those guys, and we've had multiple faces in there throughout the course of the season. You know, some guys that have had to step in and take over some roles while we've had some injury issues to deal with, and they've done extremely well. I've been really proud of their performance.
The one guy that I just said hasn't been impressive all year is Grant Ressmeyer, and I said, question mark in the beginning. Now he's a factor. 12 out of 15, 158 and 4 TDs. That's a great performance.
It was a great half, there's no doubt, you know, and that's the thing. That was all in the first half of play. So it was a pretty outstanding night for him. Obviously, there's a lot of guys that contribute to that, not just Grant. I mean, we have to have the protection to be able to throw the football. We have to be able to have those guys that catch the football and do things with it after the catch as well. But, you know, Grant's played well. We've talked about that every week, it seems, and we need that kind of play in order to make a run into the playoffs.
We'll talk about the playoffs in just a little bit. Let's go to the highlights, and don't blink because you wanted to get on the throttle very quickly, and from the opening kickoff, you guys made a statement.
Yes, we did. You know, it's the kick to Brandon Bowling into the end zone. We brought it out. We got some great blocks here. You're seeing some great execution by our return team. You know, it's the return guy's job, obviously, to go beat a couple of people, which Brandon does with his speed and athleticism. And that's the way we wanted to start. You know, we're 7-0 from the get-go.
When you take a look at your defense over the last couple of weeks, what you're seeing right now is not uncommon. Whether you've been in red or white, it's your jerseys around the football.
You know, the guys are playing with a lot of intensity, running to the football very well. There you see Grant on the option play doing a nice job carrying the football. I think he ended up with 5 carries for 55 yards on the night. Dedrick behind some great blocking by our offensive line up front. Grant throwing the ball out there to Jeremiah Campbell, who takes it in for the touchdown to put us up 14-0 at that point. Again, there you're seeing our defense just running to the football, stringing the play out, getting great effort and great hustle out of those guys. You know, it's fun to watch when you've got all 11 jerseys in on the tackle, as you're seeing right there.
Here's special teams. Your special teams obviously has come along. Punt block, you ran it back for the kickoff. Special teams this time of year even goes to another level in their importance.
Oh, it's extremely important. You know, that's the part of the game that a lot of people forget. You know, I tell people when your special teams aren't playing well, it gets a lot of recognition, but when they do, it most of the time doesn't get what it deserves. But it's extremely important. we know that's an important phase of the game, and our kids were able to go execute in that aspect of it the other night.
That's just
well.
a great ball by Grant there for the touchdown.
Yeah, it was a nice job of Dedrick working the route, Grant putting the ball out there where he needed to be, and us making another touchdown reception.
Here they try fake and no go there because you guys are ready.
Yeah, it was an outstanding job again by our punt return team. We get the turnover on downs, end up on the next play throwing that ball out to Cassidy Woods, who makes an outstanding catch there in the corner of the end zone for us to add another score.
That's one of the things you talked about in that receiving core too. It hasn't just been Jeremiah, it's been everybody stepping up every week making big catches for you.
Yeah, no doubt. We had touchdown receptions by multiple kids the other night, which was great to see. Obviously had some rushing touchdowns as well. There you see another turnover in recovery for us, and we'll end up adding to that total to go in at halftime 42-0. But it was an outstanding performance by our kids in really every aspect. There you see Grant pull the ball out on the backside of that run and take us deep into their territory, which we're then able to add to that with our run game.
We talk about Dedrick, and I know I've laughed about redundancy, but yards after contact, just amazing this year.
Yeah, he's doing a great job of not letting the first tackler bring him down, and getting those yards after contact as you're talking about. Again, defensively, I just can't say enough about the effort that our kids are playing with on that side of the football and what they've been able to do. I mean, we held a really good running back there to, I think, 36 yards on 18 carries. So it was an outstanding performance by our defense.
And they're not quitting on plays, as you saw there. Missed the first time, backside pursuit comes in and makes the tackle.
Yeah, no doubt. We emphasize running to the football, and our kids buy into that philosophy. It's a nice ball out there to Brandon in space, who turns it up and gets us some extra yards. You're going to see a great extra effort here in just a minute by Jeremiah Campbell off the hitch throw, where he spins outside and finds a way to get that ball into the end zone. And just the celebration by our kids for each other. We talk about being unselfish. We talk about playing for each other. And what that means is doing my job so that the team can have success regardless of who gets credit for it. And our kids have really bought into that and do a great job of that on both sides of the football.
Yeah, the defense over the last couple of weeks, and you're getting into the back end of your season, so kids have got bumps and bruises. You think they would get slower, and you see that out of defenses this time of year. It seemed like the Bronco defense has now hit another gear.
Well, they're playing very, very physical, which is so critical in order to be successful. We feel that we've got to be able to play physical on defense, and our guys have done that over and over again. It's a large reason that we have been on a 5-game win streak over the last 5 weeks, and we've been playing great defense and getting great effort out of those guys week in and week out.
Yeah, when you talk about everybody getting to the ball, not only your interior linemen, but your safeties are coming up. It seems like everybody wants a piece of the tackle.
Yeah, there's no doubt, and that's what it takes is team defense, everybody running to the football. There's Caden Markham, one of our backup running back skill kids, Cannell Woods there at quarterback making a nice run. We were able to get a lot of guys some playing time Friday night, which was great. It's the 10th game of the regular season, and it was great to be able to come out the second half and play a lot of guys who have committed themselves throughout the course of this season and may not have gotten as many snaps throughout the year, but they got a chance to showcase their talents and get in on a little bit of the action on Friday night, and it was an awesome thing to happen.
Well, Don, I'm sure you preach to the team that everything that's happened up to this point is just to wipe the slate clean and get ready for the playoffs. And what a thrill, first of all, for the kids to open up at AT&T Stadium. I've been joking that the Cowboys needed to take a week off so you could have the field, but I'm sure that's a big thrill for these kids.
It is. We feel very, very blessed. I mean, the kids have done a great job of working, and they deserve to be where they are in the playoffs due to their effort and their performance. But how many guys play high school football and get a chance to walk into a world-class facility like that and play a playoff game? I mean, across this country, you've got thousands of kids, right, that participate in high school football that don't get that opportunity. So we feel very blessed and very fortunate. Obviously, for us, we're going to be very excited about that, but we've got to be very focused to make sure that we get an opportunity to continue down this playoff track.
Keller Fossil Ridge, in this game, folks are going to be able to see two great running backs. Keyshawn Mitchell has rushed for 1,592, 23 TDs. Dedrick has rushed for 1,382 and 18 TDs. So both teams have a very good running game.
Yeah, there's no doubt. Fossil Ridge brings a talented football team into Friday night's game. The running back that you mentioned does a great job behind an offensive line that obviously is creating holes for him to be able to get those yards. You know, defensively, they're a talented football team as well. So it should be a great competitive football game.
Congratulations on another great season and heading towards the playoffs.
Thank you.
Coach Don Drake of the McKinney Boyd Broncos. Well, we'll be back next week to see how North does and how Boyd does as they head to the playoffs with McKinney ISD Sports Talk.